Right now at 6, a KGW weather impact alert as rain and wind grip our area.
It's a seasonal thing that you have to accept and just learn to walk in.
From flooding on the coast.
If you encounter standing water on your roadway, please turn around.
To rising rivers in southwest Washington.
And stepped outside and noticed my mat was floating and my ice chest was floating.
And power outages in the valley.
All the power was out, all the lights coming in from Oregon City down 205.
What you need to know as communities feel the effects of the storm. First here at 6, the heavy rain and wind hitting our region, having a big impact across the area, from flooding and fallen trees to road closures and power outages. Our team is on the ground and in your neighborhoods, showing you where conditions are the worst. We'll start things off with meteorologist Matt Zaffino. Matt, we've had lots of heavy wind and rain, so what's next?
We certainly have, Christine. What's next is a break. I mean, you see on Doppler radar right now, things are really beginning to lighten up over Oregon here and along the I-5 corridor. It's not that there's no rain out there, but it's lighter. There's rain at the coast, and there's certainly rain up in southwest Washington. So the weather impact alert continues for now. Light showers in Oregon on the way. Heavy rain up in Washington. Still flooded roadways. Landslides will continue to be possible, especially up in the mountains and out of the Coast Range and along the coast itself. So again, we're watching all of this very, very carefully. What's interesting right now is what's been happening in Salem. It is 57 degrees there. It's the warmest temperature the whole day. Temperatures have been rising because the winds out of the south have begun to come back up. And you see the winds in the Portland area are light and easterly, keeping our temperatures in the 40s. But down in Salem and Newport, good south winds have kicked back in. And that's an indication that the heavy rain is also lifting north. Look at some of these rainfall totals in the last 3 days. A place called Swift Creek up on the south side of Mount St. Helens, over a foot of rain. Skamania County, that's in the gorge, nearly 10 inches of rain. The Bull Run watershed, nearly 10 inches. Jewel, over 9 inches of rain. And up on Mount Hood, 5,500 foot elevation, over 7 inches of rain there. What about the cities? Well, for Portland, new record today, 1.51 inches and counting. Downtown Portland, we did not break the record. It was set back in 2010 with over 2 inches of rain. I don't think we'll make that, but Salem did 1.69 inches of rain. That's just today, right? So again, looking at Doppler radar, the rain is really broken up over the valley, which is great. Still rain in the Coast Range and at the coast, but it's lighter than it was at this time last night. And up in Washington, a new surge coming on shore to the north. So again, the atmospheric river continues, but it's lifted north. We'll keep the weather impact alert going for now with lighter rain, though, in the forecast, but still need to watch for standing water on the roads and be careful around any bodies of water, any streams, rivers. Some of those are in flood stage. We'll have those for you a bit later, Christine.
Appreciate the update. Thank you, Matt. Well, the atmospheric river has hit southwest Washington hard. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri joins us now live from Kalama tonight. Joe, what are you seeing where you are?
Well, to Matt's point, we're going to be seeing some minor flooding. We've been seeing just that in parts of southwest Washington. We're live here along the Kalama RV Park, where late last night and earlier this morning, they were experiencing minor flooding here at this park. It got so intense at one point, Christine, that residents were forced to go to higher ground. Now, even though we've been seeing relatively drier conditions today, the concern is heading into the overnight hours with more rain in the forecast. Day 2.
In fact, where we're parked right here, you wouldn't have been able to, that was all underwater. So definitely receded, probably a couple of feet.
And round 2 of what has been an unforgiving round of heavy rain across the Pacific Northwest.
This morning I got up, do my regular routine, made some breakfast, watched the news for a minute, didn't hear anything about it, and stepped outside and noticed my mat was floating and my ice chest was floating.
The Kalama River started spilling its banks on Monday, and by early Tuesday morning, residents of the Kalama RV Park were racing to get their trailers out.
Decided I better take a drive through the neighborhood, and I saw it looked like a river running through here, so I hooked everything up, hooked up my trailer to my truck and got it up on the main road out here, and was able to move it to another park.
It was just as bad in Castle Rock, where there was even more flooding as the Public Works Department was forced to close roads because of the rising water.
First time I've ever seen it like this. I cannot believe the debris in it.
In Longview,
a lot of rain, as you can see, some isolated flooding, neighborhood flooding.
Assistant City Manager Chris Collins was thankful a good part of Tuesday brought drier conditions.
We're very fortunate to have this break. One of the things that Longview has to do that may be unique in some ways to Longview is we have to pump everything. All the rain that falls in Longview has to be pumped out.
But those drier conditions aren't expected to last.
Right here in the Kelso-Longview area, we look to be right on the edge. So basically, if you live north of here, probably wetter than dry, and if you're south of here, drier than wet.
NOAA meteorologist Lee Picard knows this could be just the beginning.
Even if the water's falling up in, say, Lewis County, that's still a Cowlitz Basin that's going to have to come down through here eventually. So it's going to be mostly a river flooding thing that we watch here over the next few days.
Of what's expected to be another round of flooding. And Christine, I would describe the conditions we're experiencing right now at the 6 o'clock hour tonight. Just some more mist, maybe some light showers picking up a little bit. But again, heading into the overnight hours, those showers are going to get potentially intense, especially north of us. And over in Longview, they've been experiencing some minor flooding as well. They, in fact, are opening up a severe weather center that opens up here tonight. They expect to see maybe up to maybe 60 people is how many they can house. We'll see what happens over the next couple of hours and really the next couple of days as the potential of more flooding will continue. Back to you.
Joe Ranieri reporting live in Kalama. Thank you, Joe. Meantime, on the coast, several areas of Highway 101 are seeing flooding this evening. Officials say if you run into flooding, remember, don't try to drive through it. Water can be a lot deeper than it appears. They say avoid walking through floodwaters too. It can be contaminated with oil, gas, or sewage. There could also be other hazards and debris. For flooding-related road closures, a helpful resource is tripcheck.com. In the metro area, the heavy rain is causing problems as well, from flooded streets to downed trees and power outages. Devin Haskins is live in Oregon City, where sewage overflowed into the Willamette River. Devin.
Yeah, Christine, a manhole overflowed, causing sewage to overflow into the Willamette River. So officials now asking everybody to stay out of the Willamette River for at least the next 24 hours because it could have been contaminated with bacteria. Just one of the many problems around the metro area. We caught up with PBOT crews earlier today up in Portland. They were up on Swan Island as they unclogged several drains that created a large puddle on the road. This one clogged in the pipe under the road. So after clearing the pipe out, it drained within minutes. PBOT says over the last 2 days, their crews have unclogged over 130 drains around the city that residents have called in about.
The problem with ponding water like this is even if you're going slow, there's a threat that you'll lose traction, even hydroplane, depending on how deep the water is.
Now, outside the Portland area, hundreds here were without power in West Lynn this morning after a large tree fell across the road, knocking out power to several businesses. Back in Portland, PBOT says that if you do come across a flooded street or a clogged storm drain, you can always call 311 to report it. In Oregon City, back to you.
A really good reminder, 311. Thank you, Devin. Meantime, tonight's Christmas ships parades on both the Willamette and Columbia rivers are canceled due to all the debris in the water. Organizers say they hope to get the ships back on the water as soon as it's safe to do so. All day, many of you have shared photos and videos of what it looks like in your area, so here are a handful of them. These photos are from viewer Tracy, who lives on the banks of Abaqua Creek in Marion County. You can see the water coming right up close to the deck there. Wow. And check out how high the water is near Louisville Park in Battleground. Thanks for sharing this photo as well. And another viewer sent us this picture of a median in Tigard. You can see that near King City, by the way, that covered in water, really. And this last one comes from Montessa in Woodburn, showing a tree down on Boone's Ferry Road. Thank you to everyone who sent us these pictures of what you're seeing where you are. And remember, show us how things are looking in your neighborhood anytime. You can text weather pictures or videos to the number that's on your screen right now. That is 503-226-5088. And a reminder, be safe. Never put yourself in harm's way just for a photo. In your headlines, Portland police are asking for help to find a missing 89-year-old man. This is James Moore. Police say he dropped his wife off at a store at Jansen Beach around 1:30 yesterday afternoon and never came back to pick her up. Investigators say there's added concern here because of James' age and health issues. He was driving a black 2021 Chevy Malibu when he dropped his wife off. If you see him, call 911. The Benton County Sheriff's Office is asking for help identifying a man found dead in the Willamette River November 29th. Deputies found the body near Hyack Park after someone spotted it floating in the water. Investigators think he may have been in the river for about a week before he was found. The Sheriff's Office released these photos of 2 tattoos found on the man, hoping that someone will recognize them. Investigators say he also has a distinct scar above his navel. The Benton County Sheriff's Office wants anyone with information to call them. Some students at Corbett High School walked out of class today after a sexually explicit AI-generated image of a student was shared online. A parent sent us these photos of the walkout today, and the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office confirmed that an investigation is underway. According to the Sheriff's Office, the AI image was posted on social media, and by the time they were notified on Saturday, it had already been deleted. Detective Sergeant Brad Robertson released a statement saying, quote, "Incidents like this, although rare, are deeply personal and upsetting for families. We want our community to know that our detectives are working to collect the necessary evidence to build a legally sufficient case that can be presented to the district attorney's office." The city of Tigard says a nationwide cybersecurity breach has hit its emergency alert vendor. It may have exposed personal information for people who use Code Red, which is Tigard's public safety alert system. That could include names, numbers, emails, addresses, and possibly passwords. The city says anyone who reused their Code Red password elsewhere should change it. Officials say Tigard's emergency notification system is still working. And Google has agreed to a $700 million settlement after investigators found it engaged in anti-competitive practices on the Google Play Store. Attorney General Dan Rayfield says the majority of payments will be automatic for people who made purchases between 2016 and 2023. Money will be sent through PayPal or Venmo. The settlement also requires Google to change its business practices to prevent future harm. A court hearing to finalize the deal is set for April 30th.